Turning to politics tonight, you're looking live at Manchester, New Hampshire, where former President Donald Trump is expected to take the stage at any moment. The Republican frontrunner ramping up the attacks today on his closest rival in the state, Nikki Haley. NewsNation correspondent Kellie Meyer is in Manchester following the Trump campaign and joins us live. Kellie.
Well, hey there, Natasha. We've been watching as some of the Trump supporters have been waiting in line here outside of the venue where he will be speaking any moment. These folks trying to get in, they actually cut off, saying that they are already north of 5,000 people inside that building. I will note that these folks have been standing in line since the early morning hours and that it is 10 degrees here outside. The campaign telling us earlier that they are hoping to have a crushing victory here in New Hampshire, so much so that Trump is already making his list of potential running mates. Potential vice presidential picks descending on the Granite State, providing backup to former President Donald Trump just days ahead of the first in the nation primary.
You have so many hardworking volunteers who have been knocking on doors.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik phone banking for the former president this morning in Manchester, fueling speculation that the top House Republican is on the list of vice presidential prospects. Meanwhile, Trump upping his attacks on Nikki Haley, referring to her by her birth name and misspelling it multiple times on social media. Trump changing his attacks to calling Haley, quote, bird brain in a post on Truth Social this morning. Haley telling NewsNation's Leland Vittert Friday,
people want me to hate on Trump. I don't hate Trump. This is not personal for me. This is about policy.
Today, we asked Stefanik about the president's name calling.
What do you make of President Trump's attacks on Nikki Haley's name?
Well, President Trump, I stand by. There is a lot of back and forth going on, but I'll tell you what's unacceptable. Nikki Haley has been disloyal to President Trump. She's been disloyal to the American people. On the issues related to election integrity, Nikki Haley was spewing Democrat talking points.
Former President Trump also saying last night that he probably won't be choosing Nikki Haley as his VP.
She was okay, but she is not presidential timber. Now, when I say that, that probably means that she's not going to be chosen as the vice president.
We need Donald Trump.
Another potential pick publicly endorsing Trump this weekend, former Republican presidential nominee Tim Scott, delivering a blow to fellow South Carolinian Haley, who appointed Scott to his Senate seat over a decade ago. Today, Haley responding, saying, quote, everybody has a decision to make, and they'll have to live with their decision. He'll have to live with his. And the Trump campaign saying that there will be more South Carolina elected officials on stage tonight, including former Governor Henry McMaster, who served as Haley's lieutenant governor and then took over as governor when Trump appointed Haley as UN ambassador. Haley telling reporters today that elected officials in her home state don't like her because she cared more about the voters when she was in office. Natasha.
Interesting. All right, Kellie Meyer with the Trump campaign. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.